Okay, on the next step we are going to draw our internal walls, and for that we have to go again to the command walls, and this time on properties I'm going to choose an internal wall type, this one. The width is 125 millimeters, as you can see here, and I'm going to duplicate this wall and put an easier name to recognize it. And in the same way as for the exterior walls, I'm not going to change the settings, just keep everything how it is for now. Click on OK and close. Now we are ready to draw the walls, and in this video I'm going to start from the bottom left corner. But of course you can try a different method if you want, which is actually a good thing for your practice. Back in the project, at the options bar, I'm going to set the height with a top constraint at the first floor, and you can also check it out here at the properties. First, turn on the command wall, and I'm going to have this endpoint. Don't click yet, just move to the right, and I'm going to type the distance where the first wall starts. It is 2.5 meters. Its length is 3600 millimeters. That's what I need to insert. And after, I'm going to extend this wall up to the exterior wall at the right. Make sure it's vertical, you can notice when you see the dashed line, and click when the intersection snap point shows in the screen. Press escape just once, and then I click in a new point to start another wall. This time I'm going to this corner. I move slightly up, and now I type 1200. I'm drawing it towards the left side. And as the width of this corridor is 1200, you can notice the wall should be above the dashed line. When this happens, you can press the space bar and it switches to the other side. So you can click when you see these track lines intersecting, two track lines intersecting. Then there is a vertical wall to divide the room here. This distance is 4150 and link the wall to the top. Press escape. Next, I'm going to show you a new tip. Draw another wall from this intersection. And if I push and hold the button shift while drawing, I am locking the vertical direction so I can easily join it with the exterior wall. On the other hand, if my pointer is closer to the horizontal direction and hold shift now, you can see this wall will be horizontal. In Revit, walls are easy to stretch or to shorten its length. When we select a wall, we can click and hold this blue grip and drag it to extend to where I want. Here. Likewise, I can shorten a wall again from the grips. Let's place this one to make a corner here. Now let's look again at our drawing with the dimensions. And there are still 4 remaining walls to insert. Now, you should be able to draw this by yourself. So I'm going to explain this roughly. For example, I can start on this corner, type 2175. Then I need to press space here to switch the wall position. Type the length of the next wall. And connect this one here. Now look at this corner, as apparently there is a gap here. When you place the wall, Revit automatically fills it. For the last, the spacing required is 1.2 meters, and I need to press space again, join it to this place, and finally I press escape once to cancel the next wall, and escape again to exit the command. Now I am going to open a 3D view from the project browser. Double-click on the name. Nice. Now we can have a better perspective of the height difference between exterior and interior walls. As you remember, the top constraint of the exterior walls is the roof, and we can confirm it by looking at the level position. On the other hand, interior walls just go up to the first floor level. Now let's close the 3D view and open the floor plan first floor. Now, what do we have here? Only the exterior walls, as they are the only ones that go up to the roof level. However, we can still see the interior walls as a light color, but we cannot select them or edit them. Basically, they are shown here as an underlay layer, and it means that we can see the walls located at the floor below. The underlay has the function to help us on the modeling process, and in this exercise, most of the walls on the second floor overlap with those on the first. At this moment, our underlay range is between the ground floor and the first floor levels. And of course, we can edit this range when necessary. Okay, let's start making the walls for the first floor. This is the floor plan with the dimensions, and you can see that most walls are in the same place. It's exactly with them that I'm going to start, and you will see it's going to be pretty easy and quick. Click on the command wall and make sure the interior wall type is selected. Then, for the location line, let's keep with this finish face. Okay, the method I'm using here is drawing from the snap points and follow the position of the walls below. Like this. Now, as I reach this wall and there is nothing to draw here, I press escape only once and click to place the next wall. If the location line is on the opposite face of the one you need, remember to press the spacebar to switch to the other side. Next, let's continue drawing these walls here because they still overlap the first floor. Now let's go for the walls that don't exist in the floor below, and I will do it in the same way as I did previously. Place the pointer at this endpoint, move up, and type the correct distance. And now I need to press the spacebar to move the wall to the other side, and join the wall here. After, for this wall, I do the same thing. And even I don't know the exact length, the wall has to intersect this auto track line. So click and then join the wall with the corner. Now I just need the remaining walls. And now look at this tip. Actually, to draw a wall in an exact location, it's not required to have the endpoint. As most of the time, if you place the pointer at the wall, this temporary length appears, and we just need to tag the value. Then, this time, as this distance will be 2 meters, look that it's also easy to place the right length by only moving the pointer. So, we have finished all the walls in this exercise. Now, I want to propose you a second practice. But first, I'm going to change the scale of both floor plans to 1/50, so these elevation symbols are a bit smaller, and then I'm going to place them just in the middle of the floor plan. Now it's more centered, it's better. Change also the scale for the 0 ground floor. And now, for the second exercise, we are going to draw all the walls again, but with a different method. Basically, I'm going to show you how to move walls in a simple and effective way. Let's use just the ground floor and delete the interior walls. Also, I will take the opportunity to show you how the selection area works. Click and hold with the left button, open the area to the left side. As you can see, with this, I select every element that is partially within the area. On the other hand, if I open the selection area from the left to the right, I only select the elements that are totally inside the area. In this case, only these two walls. So press Escape and open the selection again from right to left and press Delete. Now, as an exercise, I'm going to look at the floor plan and let's draw all the walls like a sketch without caring about the distances. Just roughly, like this. But of course, use the snap points to join them with the exterior walls and also with the walls that I'm drawing. After this step, I have to move the walls to its right position. Let's start from the top, at the left side, and select this wall. Now look, when you select a wall, these temporary dimensions show up on the screen. Their purpose is to indicate the distance to the nearest intersections, in case I need to move the wall to the sides. Here, this length has to be 3700 mm, and I simply click on it to edit the value. Just this, easy. Then, the next dimension also changes as the wall moved to the right. But, if I try to set the correct length right now, you will notice that the wall moved again, and the first dimension line is no longer 3700. So I'll push Ctrl Z to go back. The length is again 3700. And basically, to edit the second length, I have to move the next wall. Click on it and edit the length as I did previously. Now, I think you should be able to continue the process by yourself. Then this wall is 2175 mm, and if everything is correct, this length should be now 3 meters. If not, it's because you probably did something wrong before, and in that case, you have to go back and check all the walls again. Now let's pick up this horizontal length. And this time, the temporary dimensions are vertical. Why is that? If you select a wall and try to drag it, click and hold and move, we can only displace it in a way that we won't deform the structure, in this case up or down. Because if you try to move it in the same direction, Revit don't let you, because it's constrained with the vertical walls. That's why if a wall is vertical, we move to the left or to the right. However, if a wall is isolated, it has no constraints, you may have temporary dimensions along the same direction. Back in our drawing, I'm going to edit this dimension to 3575. And for this wall, I need something different. The length of this temporary dimension is measured by two different points if we compare with the PDF file. But this is simple to solve. I can click on this grip at the baseline and drag it to the other wall face. Release now the button because it's snapping to the face. Then I can change to the length that I need. This vertical line has to go a bit to the right, and this length needs to be 1200 mm. Next, I'm going to click on this wall at the corridor, and also this temporary dimension line has to measure the corridor distance. That's why I have to click and drag again the grip and place it at this wall face. Then, now you can see the length is not correct, I have to change it to 1200. Finally, I need to check out the two vertical walls below. This is the first one, and the length is 2500, which is actually correct. So I can go to the next wall and now change to the value that I need. Okay, everything is finished, but I have to push this dimension to the exterior wall and confirm it measures 5300. Remember that the last dimension has to match if you did everything correctly before. In the next chapter, we will insert the doors and windows in this project. And I'm going to start with the doors. I have to choose a type here, and you will notice that there are just few of them to choose from. But don't worry, because if you don't like the shape or these door sizes, there are much more to download from the libraries. But anyway, at this moment, it's fine with what we've got here, so I'm going to pick this door. One nice thing is that we can normally understand the height and the width by looking at the type name. Of course, if you want to be completely sure, it's better to confirm it on the type properties here. But I can tell you, at least the doors loaded by default have the width and the type correct in the name. Click on OK and let's start. I'm going to insert the first door in this room, and before clicking, I can see the distance the door will be from the walls. Now, for this exercise, I wanted to make this step a bit of freestyle for you. I haven't added dimensions for the internal doors, so you are free to play around with them and you can decide where exactly they will be. You can choose a different type if you want, or even load it from the libraries. That's a tip I'm going to explain to you after this part. Here I decide to place all the doors at 10 cm from the closest wall. For this door, I didn't click exactly at the right place and the door went a bit to the left. To fix this, select the door and you can edit the distance to the one that you need. In my case, it was 100. Another way to place the same element in the project again is clicking in this door, then hit the right button and go to Create Similar because I want exactly the same type of door. Do you see? It's appearing when I hover the wall. Another thing you've probably noticed is that you cannot place a door alone. And honestly, I think it would be a bit weird at least. So, doors and windows are hosted by walls, meaning that they only show when you place the mouse over a wall. So now you can keep placing the doors for all the rooms, you can follow the image I shown before, or just place them in your way. But there is another tip I want to show to you, which is to flip the door. It's very easy. You can hit space to flip to the left or to the right, or you can also click on these arrows. With this one, I'm flipping the door to the other side. Nice. So then you can place the doors for the first floor. I'm not going to do it here, and that's something for you as a homework. Now we can go through the next step, which is inserting the exterior door. As I told you before, I'm going to introduce to you how to load an Autodesk family. We will go to the Insert tab and click here, Load Autodesk Family. In this window, we can browse from loads of families organized by category. Now what we need is doors, and as you can see, there are loads of them to choose from. And to be more specific, we can select also a subcategory here. I'm going for this exterior door, and if I want, I can also load more than one door at the same time. But for now this one is alright. Now I go back to the Architecture tab again, activate the command door, click on the icon and select the door type. I go for this length 910 mm and insert it here at this wall. Now another tip. Okay, 2 tips. Yes, I love to tell you tips all the time, I know. It's just my nature. So, this is the first tip. Look, if I place the pointer slightly below the wall, the door opening is upwards. Now let's move a bit above the opening, switch it to the other side. The second tip is, while moving the door around the middle of the wall, there is one moment that Revit suggests me to place the door in the middle between the two walls, with both dimension lines being equal. So it's everything about doors for now, so it's time to go through the windows. However, not in this video. It's something for the next part.